Welcome to Country Tough with Brandy Von Holten. Today, I have somebody that I don't really know them very well, but I want to. I met them at the Missouri State Fair. Okay, so her name is Anna, and it's Littrell, and it's Littrell. Okay, so she got double T's, double L's. Okay, and here we go. She works for the Lieutenant Governor's Office with a very cool program called Buy Missouri. And we're talking about BUY, okay? We are talking about spending money in commerce. So let's learn about this program. And then here's what's funny, okay, is I asked Anna, hey, Anna, do you know anything about me? And she's like, here's the 4 words that she said. Well, I know you have a podcast, a ranch, you do some speaking engagements, and you got horses. This poor girl, she does not know what she's in for on this podcast interview. Okay, so Anna, tell us about the program called Buy Missouri.
Absolutely. Well, first, thank you so much for having me. I am so happy to get to speak to you and be interviewed on this podcast. Like you said, my name is Anna Littrell, and I'm the Director of Buy Missouri and Tourism Liaison for the Office of Lieutenant Governor David Wasinger. The Buy Missouri program itself started in 2017 under then Lieutenant Governor Parson. And so basically what the program is when they established it, it created an online listing of manufacturers who are producing their goods here in Missouri. So it's a free program with a few criteria to join, which are pretty minimal. You just have to grow, manufacture, or produce at least 51% of your product here in the great state of Missouri. And then other than that, you need to be in good standing with the state of Missouri overall. And then you, of course, have to pay Missouri taxes. So those are the only requirements to be in the program. The program is quite expansive, so there's a wide variety of businesses involved. Some of our business members create soaps and jams and things like that. And then some of our larger businesses that are involved create hurricane impact rated windows and things like that. So a lot of the businesses in the program, Brandy, you may know, there's Quaker Windows, Fitz's Soda, Yes Honey, who I know you've previously interviewed Miss Heather. She's in the program. And then like Doolittle Trailer, they're in the program as well. So the program started, like I said, in 2017. Right now, we're sitting at just over 680 members. So that's 680 businesses that are choosing to manufacture their products here in the state. And in addition to that, our members employ over 21,000 Missourians. So this really has created a huge impact for the state's economy and workforce. So that's kind of a brief synopsis of what we've got going on.
Okay. So here we go, Anna. I love this right here. We are a horse trail riding facility, and we're in Pettis County. And then we host all sorts of events. And people come. We've had people come to our facility from other countries. Okay, we've had somebody here from Germany. Amazing. And someone here from Canada just to come for an event that we host. So,
awesome!
Yeah. You know what? I love supporting small and local, and I feel like I get a better product. We in our neighboring county, there's actually a store, and I always get confused. I don't know if they're Missouri made or made in Missouri, but I think it's Missouri made, and they sell all sorts of items that are just sold here, or created here in Missouri. And I think they started their business like post-COVID because they were like, man, somebody's got to step up and do something. And we support, man, they serve some amazing food. And, man, another product that I love that I have introduced a lot of people to, because we host this event called Chicks in the Sticks. It's an all-inclusive women's-only event. And then we go out to eat. We go to this Mennonite lady's home. She's also a a caterer. She also has a catering business, but we go to her house. And then sometimes if she's not available, we'll also go to a local place called Patio 52. It's actually owned by law enforcement. But
Okay.
But another thing that we have in our area, do you know about Phantom 5? Do you know about?
I don't believe so.
Oh my gosh, girl, Phantom 5. It's these 5 guys that came together and they made a distillery, and they are doing things so differently, but they make like brandies and all sorts but they have one that it's their number 1 seller, and it's called Oatmeal Cookie. And they've won Missouri's Best Distillery for 5 or 6 years.
Wow.
There's an awards program called Missouri's Best. And my husband and I, with Von Holten Ranch, that's the name of our ranch, we've won Missouri's Best Woodworking, Missouri's Best Podcasting. My husband and I had won Missouri's Best Ranch. And then
phenomenal.
For 25, I just found out that I won Missouri's Best Business Coach, which is...
Well, congratulations.
Dude, it's just crazy. I feel like people need to... I don't buy anything that... If I can buy it made in the United States, then I buy it made in the United States. And my client... Man, I have found my clients do not mind paying a little bit more if it's made in the United States. So tell me some things about what y'all have found with having Buy Missouri. What are some cool things that people are finding in their businesses? Has it been like a big network for businesses to go on to? So tell me a little bit more.
Absolutely, I would love to. So, firstly, in addition to our Buy Missouri members, we also have our Buy Missouri business partners. So those are individuals who own stores or gift shops here in Missouri, and they have made a commitment to selling Missouri-made products in their stores. So we've got around 60 of those right now, and the requirement for that is that you sell at least 5 items made in the state of Missouri, but most of them exceed that by a large number. So a lot of those businesses have chosen to source some of their goods that they sell directly from our Buy Missouri listing, so reaching out to those businesses who exclusively manufacture here in the state. So we have been very happy to see that happening. In addition to that, we have one example I'll give you here in the booming town of Bell, Missouri, is we have Bob's Frozen Custard, which makes some of the best custard in the state. So if you're ever out this way, you'll have to stop. But they frequently partner with a lot of our Buy Missouri businesses to get some add-ins for their custard. So an example of that is in the beautiful town of Bland, just here next to Bell. There's Lavender Rhapsody, which is a lavender farm. So they make every year a lavender custard, which is just absolutely phenomenal. And that's just one example, but they frequently work with a lot of our Buy Missouri businesses. So that's just one example of how this program really encourages not just buying locally, but also sourcing your goods for your own business locally, which when we can work together, I think it's better for our economy and our state as a whole.
Well, I think I have put in to do something with Buy Missouri, but then I don't think I ever have, but I've been missing the boat because my husband is a woodworker, and not only does he have a sawmill, but he also has a kiln, and then he also has a CNC, and that right there, you can put a massive piece of wood on there, and then it's computerized, and then he can make custom everything. Girl, he's been fixing people's antique furniture. Oh my gosh, he is going to hate that I tell you this, okay? He considers Pinterest the devil, okay? Because I get way too many ideas on there. I've got him keeping his pop cans right now for me because I'm going to cut the top and the bottom off and then cut that cylinder, and I'm going to take that metal and I'm going to put it around some horse obstacles and like completely cover them in like pop cans. And he's like, no, stop looking at Pinterest. And I actually found that one on TikTok. But on Pinterest, I seen this person take this antique piano. Okay, well, I actually moved to the state of Missouri because I tried to go to the Olympics as a heavyweight fighter, and I actually fought for the United States in 5 countries. I didn't make it the year of the Olympics, but there's other, in between the Olympics, there's USA teams, and I made 5 of those. So I have a bunch of medals. Like I think I've won like 11 state titles for Missouri, and I've won nationals, and there's collegiate, and I've always come home with some medals internationally. But I had all these medals, girl. I had them in a cookie jar. Okay, because what do you do with them? You know, you can't. Like, I just had and before medals, I won trophies. We have 3 closets full of trophies. He's going to end up making like an epoxy box, or not an epoxy, just something where because some of them are like 5 foot tall, and going to put them above my office in my barn so then they don't get dust all over them. So like a clear front. Right. But all of these medals, he did epoxy, and we had this piano, gutted the piano, and completely made it into, it's a coffee and bourbon bar in my office. Oh, okay. Wow. And it also, he loved, you know, my husband and I, we're both so busy. We have 4 businesses between us. Okay. 4 LLCs and several DBAs. And if it was up to him, he would just be doing woodworking and just see me for like meals, you know. And then I do all sorts of stuff, like interview Anna that works for By Missouri, you know. So like always anyways, girl, I put peanut M&Ms on this piano bar because then he'll come and visit, and then I keep my office refrigerator stocked with his drinks also, because he'll drink all of his, and then so I'm like, if you come in here and get M&Ms and Pepsi, then you have got to spend at least 6 minutes with me, okay? And then he comes in here several times a day just to be like, okay, you know, like, because if he had those peanut M&Ms in his office, he would just devour them, you know, they'd be gone in a day.
Right.
But he makes custom furniture, and this custom piano bar, girl, he's got lights on the top and the bottom, and he put electricity into it, like a couple of outlets.
Wow.
Like, so my husband, he has some programs for homeschoolers, and because it's a shop class, and then he can send them all of the things that he cut out, and then I went to college for 10 years. I have a degree in biology and a minor in physics, a degree in criminal justice, and my master's in teaching. So I wrote a curriculum to go with his at-home wood shop. So we're shipping those out all across the United States. He makes horse obstacles. He makes custom furniture. I mean, like right now while I'm talking to you, I have my podcast equipment set up on a custom table that he made, and I made coffee this morning on my piano bar. Like,
I love this. Well, you know what? This is something that in the time that I've spent working to oversee this program, I have learned even more about just how innovative Missourians are. I mean, the creativity is unmatched. I have not seen such creative individuals as I've met while overseeing the By Missouri program. We have a whole bunch of woodworkers who do all sorts of different things. Ortman Woodcraft currently is making some of the 250th anniversary of the U.S. He's making some coins for that for the state. So it's just the innovation that Missourians have. Just I'm always in awe over it. So it sounds like your husband would be a perfect fit for the BIMO program.
Well, and you know what? You like creativity. I'll tell you where a lot of our creativity comes from is, I mean, we own a family farm that's been in the same family since 1906. And the 4 generations that have owned this, 3 of them had to purchase it. And unfortunately, we were one of those 3. We were not the one generation that got it at no cost. So this thing, you know, we don't want to lose the family farm on our watch. So
of course,
you figure out how to do things, you know, like I do with my business coaching. My gosh, I help people with social media. So many people they are masters of their craft, but they do not know anything about marketing, or they don't like to do it. And so they become like secrets. Like my husband
Yes.
would be a secret to everyone if I didn't post about him, because he is not good about posting, nor does he know what to post or how to. But he is a master woodworker. But so that's where, and I didn't go to college to do anything of marketing, but now, I mean, I've been on the cover of 8 magazines since 2015, and we, you know,
Amazing.
our stuff host, you know, we have people come from all over the United States. Everybody always thinks we have rental horses, and I'm like, no, you don't want to ride my horses anyway. They're kind of bad, but they're also amazing. But so something that we offer here that's kind of, I bet you won't have anybody else in this category, okay, is with all that fighting that I used to do. Whenever we bought the family farm, you know, I don't have the time to train, because we become where we have to be here. You know, we have to be here to do everything. So I had this competitive streak in me, but then I couldn't really go and do it. So because my life changed. And well, we hosted an event, and we had some mounted archers come here from across the United States, and they did a demo, and I was like, I love that. And so I started doing mounted archery, and we have several horses, and we've got 2 Palominos. We've got 1 horse that I bred 2 leopard Appaloosas together, and we have a horse with no spots. Okay, and then I have a mule. I have a Missouri Foxtrotter mule. Well, there's not a lot of people that ride mules that do mounted archery, because it's already a small sport, and then it's even smaller with the mule. But I became the first person in the world to win the advanced division in mounted archery from a mule. But at the time, there was only like 3 or 4 of us. But I usually leave that out. You know, it sounds a lot more grand whenever before they realize it was a sector of a sector. But I teach mounted archery, and we formed United States Mounted Archery, and we have a complete line of gear, because it's a specific sport, and every piece of that is made in Missouri except for the bow. And the bow was very specific. It's an Asian sport, so that actually, I mean, it's just a different type of bow. But everything else is made here, like the quivers, the gloves. I think maybe the shaft of the arrow. Those have to be. I don't know where those come from, but I have the fletching put on in Missouri. So,
wow.
But the quiver and the bow bag and the glove all come from Missouri. So, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, mounted.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, we have a complete line of mounted archery equipment, plus, you know, that physics minor and then my master's in teaching came into play, because there was like a lack of instructors. So and then every book that I found was more about like the Han Dynasty and stuff like that, instead of like, here's how you need to hold your thumb. Okay, you know, so I wrote a beginner manual. That thing has been shipped everywhere, that beginner manual. And then I made an online course that I have where people have access to like 25 videos, and I break it down like step by step.
Wow.
Because there was just a lack of instructors, or if people would come take a clinic and then they don't do it for like 2 weeks, then they're like, oh, what did she say? I need to see it. So I'm filling in these gaps all across for this mounted archery. And the only reason I did mounted archery and was good at it was the hand-eye coordination from over 2 decades of fighting. So what a weird place we get to in our lives, you know. So
absolutely.
Do you have anybody that has any kind of sports gear that they make with y'all's program?
You know, sports gear, I would have to think about it. I know we've got let me think now. One of our businesses makes like saddles and saddle pads, which kind of is intertwined with what you're talking about a little bit.
That's
and
probably,
I think there are some.
Is that CSI?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I know all about CSI saddle pads. Yeah.
Well, this is great. It's a small world. but we have a lot of different products. I would have to double check specifically on sports related. I don't think there's a huge number of them, but once again, I think these products that you're producing would be a phenomenal fit for the program. So
I have a question. Where do you? I bet. So I write children's books, okay, and I have a series of children's books. What do y'all don't have anything that goes with that, because that's not producing, manufacturing. Well, they're printed in Kansas, but they're written here. So that would not be, I'm the people that print in Kansas for me have done a phenomenal job. And I'm not somebody that looks for a bigger, better deal. You know what I mean? If somebody does fantastic work, then I'm loyal to them, because I want people to be loyal to me. But that's the only thing. Well, some of my stuff was printed locally, some of my manuals, but do y'all work with any authors?
So we've had a request for an author to join, and then we have a couple magazines. If you know Missouri Life magazine or Rural Missouri, do you know either of those?
Oh, yes, Rural Missouri. So, we have been in Rural Missouri, and it was probably 2014 or 2015 that Missouri Life, they had like a half-page article about us in there.
I love that. Yep. So both of them are by Missouri business members. So they're not specifically books; they're more along the lines of magazines. But as long as 51% of your product is being manufactured here, and I think you could argue if you're doing all of the photos, graphics, and whatnot, I think we could probably make a pretty good case that that's 51% manufactured here. But yeah.
Well, our books, we hire professional photographers and use all of that in there, and then it's all created here. So
I love it. Yeah.
So agriculture is like a huge, that's what we do. We own a trail riding facility. We have 80 covered stalls. We have a covered arena. We have 32 electric sites. We have miles of trails. And then we have an obstacle course, and then the mounted archery course, and then we've put in an outdoor arena. We've had that area, but it hasn't been utilized. But this year we're putting fencing around that. And then we have, we used to have a wedding venue, but we actually stopped doing the weddings. And we won Missouri's Best Place to Get Married in like 22 and 23. But, well, you know what? Whenever that dang C word happened, that dang COVID, man, I was drawn towards the homesteading world, and now we use our venue for homesteading classes. And I have this all-inclusive one called Smart Chicks, and it's me and a lady that is 67 that's Mennonite. She's got 45 grandkids, okay? This lady, she never lost any skill sets. A lot of people have lost skill sets. Well, she and I science it up, and then she Mennonites it up, and we have where people come and do these classes with us, and then our Chicks and the Sticks are in her venue, and then we have a complete store in there. So we stopped, even though we were on the top of the world with during all of that, because I actually ran for our local health board. I've been an elected official before. I actually won the largest election in the history of Pettis County because I got elected to the health board and came in first in that election. And I even beat the chief medical officer from the hospital.
Well, that's an accomplishment for sure.
Well, you know what? I worked really hard to get elected, and then I was like, whoa, this is a lot of work. And man, every person in this county should be sending me a Christmas card for everything that I went through for being on that. But, everything's straight now, and I feel like I did a good job there. And I feel like I set the the constituents of this county up for success. But we have the Missouri State Fair in our county also, so we have a lot of influx of people that come here. But anyways, we don't have the venue. We don't have the venue as a venue. We have the venue as an education center, and we use it for our Chicks and the Sticks, and we have a store in there now. So
I love that. I think that's arguably just as important. I think as a whole in this country, we've kind of lost the idea of homesteading and being self-sufficient. And so I think those skills are imperative. We have so many businesses in the program that teach, soap making and how to do canning and things like that. So these are skills that are crucial for us to not lose. So I'm thankful that you have a commitment to teaching others about those.
Well, I missed education, but then out here, my time is, I would not be a good educator right now because my mind would be split, between my job and then our businesses that we have here. And
right.
with the events that we're hosting, an event might just take 2 days, but it might take me 4 months to get all the little pieces, working here and working there on being successful for putting on that. Like we have competitions and those all-inclusive events. So something that we have that's going to make Missouri a hub, and it's going to be instrumental in the equine industry and for our state. Because with us, the state fairgrounds is putting in a massive addition to the equine stuff that they host there. They're putting in a massive indoor arena and more stalls. So we started something called Country Tough Trail Versatility, and the letters are CTTV, and since there's 2 T's, I put the number 2 in there, so it's called CT2V, but it's a competition where, and it's an open show, so it doesn't matter the breed of the animal, but it is obstacles, trail, and then a ranch horsemanship, and then those scores are added together for a versatility. Well, we've done this for 8 years. We've done it for 8 years, and now I'm allowing other people to host that. So we have ambassadors of that program, and some of the ambassadors are some big names in the equine industry. And then one of them, he's gone from his home teaching at 38 different facilities in a year. And then he's a main presenter at several large horse expos. And he came on because he's just like, this was needed. And then there's another, his name is Ty Evans. The other big name that I'm talking to right now, he hasn't signed his paperwork, but he's just like, this has been needed in the equine industry. And his name is Ken McNabb. He used to have his own TV show. And I just sent him all of his paperwork to become an ambassador for it. Just before I got on this podcast, I sent a packet explaining everything to, there's this thing called Road to the Horse, and it's like one of the hugest events in the United States. It happens in Kentucky each spring, but I know that he's been involved with that, and he's talking about hosting maybe for the state of Montana. So anyways, we host a state championship for CT2V, and whenever I announce the dates, even without a flyer, it filled up within 24 hours. And so there's a need for other hosts. So we have 2 more hosts coming on this year in the state of Missouri, but then we're hosting a national championships at our place. But we have it staggered for all the divisions so we can hold everybody, instead of just doing all the divisions in one weekend. But after 26, the nationals will outgrow my capacity, and so we'll be going to the state fairgrounds. So that's going to bring...
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so CT2V, my goal for that is for it to be the largest versatility and the largest obstacle association in the United States. And the people that I've talked to, like these bigger players that I've talked to, like that if they see everything, they're just like, this was needed. And they're like, I think it's going to take way less time than what you think. 26 is my first year to allow other people to host. And then 27, I bet you I have 100 hosts across the United States.
How awesome.
Yeah, so we're trying to do stuff, that right there. Most of my clients are older, or we have a lot of people that are just, they're into trail, and so they're not going to do well at some of the fancy stuff, or they might not have a registered animal, or they might have a young animal that they want to do some of the fancier things like reining or working cow horse or whatever they're wanting to do, but they still need to develop their horse and have them be versatile.
Absolutely.
So we pull people from all sorts of different genres, and some people graduate from our association, and then some people are here with us for life, so that's something that we do also. But absolutely, Mounted archery came on because I was missing something, and then I want other people to do this with. But CT2V has evolved from us hosting so many other clinics, and the future's bright, girl, bright for CT2V.
No, this is awesome that you've just created this community for so many people in this wonderful event. So this is awesome. I'll have to take a look at it for sure.
So tell me, okay, let's just do random topic, okay? What do you have people doing with honey? Do you have?
Would you repeat one more time? Sorry, you broke up a little bit.
I said, what is something like in the category of honey? Well, tell me about some of the stores that you have that deal things with honey.
With honey, so we have Yes Honey, which I mentioned earlier, which is owned by Miss Heather, and she's phenomenal, makes these phenomenal sodas with honey as a sugar alternative, and this has been something popular across the state, and thankfully I've actually seen a lot of places here in mid-Missouri starting to sell those as well, so that's been very exciting. We also have a lot of just honey brands. We've got a couple that make whipped honeys, all different flavors. We actually, I forgot to mention this for you as well, but each year we host something called Buy Missouri Gay at the Capitol. So we work out of the Missouri State Capitol building in Jefferson City. So every April, there's one day where we host approximately 35 of our Buy Missouri businesses, and they get to come and set up in the beautiful Capitol Rotunda. If you've ever been there, that beautiful central area of the building, they get to set up their tables, and it's kind of trade show style. So they get to show off their products. So last year, we had two different honey brands in addition to Yes Honey who were there showcasing their products. And one of them, whose name is escaping me right now, but I will get it for you, they had made whipped honeys. So they had them as different flavors. There was like a jalapeno one, a chocolate one, and things that I would have never thought could try that were a crowd favorite through the whole area. So yeah, we actually have quite a few honey businesses that have been very, very successful. So I'm sure you know all of the benefits of eating honey that's grown in your local area. It helps significantly with allergies. Then it has all kinds of really good health benefits in it for you. So yeah, we're happy to have any sort of honey businesses in the Buy Missouri program.
We used to sell the heck out of some honey ice cream, and it was Geoffrey's apiaries or apiaries?
Apiaries, yep, they're in the Buy Missouri program as well.
That's a cool cat. That lady, man, whenever they would come here and deliver all this ice cream, and we sold so much of that ice cream. We just don't have like a set office anymore. I might start carrying it again in our store. It's just that we're only in there whenever we're in there, and a lot of people want to come in there all the time, and we're like, oh no, because if you're in there, we got to be in there. So we're only open when our events are. But man, she would drive to our place, and she would be like, whoa, you have so many of these natural flowers. This is such a great place for bees. And I was like, wow, you are so passionate about bees. And she told me how to catch a wild swarm. This is a skill set I do not own. I've tried 2 years.
What I don't have.
I cannot. I don't lose weight real well, and I can't catch wild swarms of bees. So I'm actually going to take a bee class. I bought all of the stuff, and then I'm just sitting over here with my stuff and no bees and no honey. So
funny. Yeah, that is so fun. Well, we do have, I think probably somewhere around like 15 businesses that produce honey or products that include honey in the program. So, yeah, it's a big thing here in the state. So,
okay. So here, different topic. What about my love of my life, other than my husband and my mule? Okay, coffee. Let's talk about coffee. Do you have anybody
Absolutely.
Coffee, coffee's life. I love it. So
no, you and me both.
I've gotten into some teas lately, but tea happens after coffee. Okay. It's not going to replace it. Yeah. So do you have any people that make anything that deal with tea or coffees or teas?
We absolutely do. That is one of the larger sections of the Buy Missouri program. If I had to make a guess, I think we probably have around 20 businesses that are, local roasteries and roast their own coffee beans and things like that. We've got a couple that are veteran owned as well, who donate large portions of their the money that they make to veteran services and things like that. But yeah, absolutely, we've got multiple. So if you want to head over at some point and look at buymissouri.net, and you just type in coffee, it'll pull up a whole list of them for you.
So on y'all's website, do you spell out Missouri or do you do by Mo?
So it's Buy Missouri spelled out. So BUYMISSOURI.net.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was just making sure that it wasn't by Mo, but it's buymissouri.net. All right.
Yeah.
So let's go to a different category. I'm like making you like have to think on your feet. Okay.
I know, I'm thinking on the spot.
So any protein bars, protein, I get more pressure to eat more protein than what I did whenever I was a kid to smoke cigarettes. Like literally, there's more peer pressure now to eat protein than there was for other things. So anything that deals with like the health food sector.
So yes, there's a large variety of health food type things. There's Start Right Foods is one of our Buy Missouri members, and they make a lot of like high protein items. I think it's mainly like waffles, pancakes, things like that. We also, of course, if you're thinking protein along the lines of meat, we have a lot of businesses that grow like grass-fed beef. They provide that. We have quite a few of those. Let me think. In addition to that, I have a really good one for you. Have you ever heard of Hammond's Black Walnut?
No.
Okay, so black walnuts are a huge thing here in the beautiful state of Missouri, and Hammond's is based in Stockton, Missouri. They're family-owned and have been for a few generations now, and what they do is they actually collect black walnuts from all over the state. They set up sites during that season where people can bring in their black walnuts that they collect from their farms or from their yards, and people bring them in by the truckload and are paid for bringing them in. And then Hammond's goes through and uses every single part of the black walnut. So the nut itself, they, break up, cover in caramel, honey, chocolate, all kinds of wonderful things, add it to trail mixes, things like that. It's extremely high in protein, in healthy fats, all kinds of really good things. And they sell those all across the state and outside of the state as well.
Okay.
And then, in addition to that, the shell of a black walnut is extremely hard, and they are actually able to kind of pulverize those, and they're used in a lot of like cleaning items because they're so abrasive that it works really well as a cleaning item. So they're one of our favorite ones, and they're definitely protein related.
Right.
And then the last one, which is kind of funky that I could think of off the top of my head, is we have a business called Mighty Cricket in the Buy Missouri program, and they make you're ready for it. They make cricket protein powder, which they also have in like flavored oatmeal, pancakes, and protein shakes.
Well, I'm sure that all of us have a little bit of that protein going on because I think there's so much that can go through inspection before it's flagged. So,
right.
Guys, you're already probably getting a little bit of that, but this right here would be a sterile and safer way to do it. If somebody's needing to get protein and they have alpha-gal, or if they, I have dairy sensitivities, like I make a bunch of mucus, so like it might, if you got to find a solution, you might as well find one that's done right, so.
Absolutely.
Let me think if there's anything that I'm just like, oh, what about this? Oh, girl, you was talking about made products. Man, I triple render beef tallow, and I make a facial body butter. Girl, I sell that all across the United States, and people watch me put my, I have a big social media following on my, I have on Facebook, I have 3 that are monetized. There's one that's my largest one. It's Brandy Von Holten, author, speaker, instructor. And I do ice water baths on there. And so there's things that you can't unsee. Okay. I am a plus size woman, but I'm also into holistic health. So I just warn people, like, you're going to see me working on Country Tough Trail Versatility, talk to me about doing a podcast. And then I'm going to be talking about mounted archery, and then I'm going to do an ice water bath, and then I'm going to go ride my mule. Like, I literally look like a spaz on there, and people sign up. I mean, like, I have a subscribers thing where they get, private or, like, more behind-the-scenes stuff. And then I have just the stuff I overshare. Like, I think I'm usually make about 60 posts a month. But But those people are my ride or dies, man. They get my tallow is all over, and then I've put some. I have 2 different sizes, but then my next thing to add is going to be a healthy toothpaste, basically. Because I've been trying to get rid of plastics in my life, and so I'm wanting to use like a bamboo toothbrush also, but that's my next thing to add. And then I'm a presenter at the Mid-Mo Homestead Expo. They have gotten so big that they had to go from Warrensburg, and they've actually changed locations twice, and now they're at the state fairgrounds because they're so big. And then their event is April 3rd and 4th. So I'm going to be a presenter.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Girl, you know what they got me presenting about is marketing 101. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's well, everything's just a little slice of my day. There's never, a lot of horse expos book me for mounted archery. And I'm like, okay, that's like 2% of what I do. It's just like my little oddity. And then, let's see here, the state fairgrounds, they have the Missouri Women in Ag, or maybe it's Missouri, it's like the Beef House, but they have where the women do something. They have me come over for my children's books. So people might have been, if they're going and seeing your products, they've probably seen us. And we always go to that, I think it's called Agri Missouri, and they always have a whole, I don't know, is that in the same office as you? Is that a completely different program?
No, it would be a different program. I think it's actually possibly, I may be misspeaking, it may be under the Department of Agriculture.
Okay. Yeah, we always go in there because they have, I'm sure a lot of the businesses that you've talked about are also in that. So there's Buy Missouri and there's Agri Missouri. So just a lot of ways to support your state. So, man, my listeners, they're from all over the United States and in other countries, not just Missouri. So do other states have programs like this?
So the Buy Missouri program is unique to Missouri. So there is no other lieutenant governor's office in the country that has a similar program. Some states, I would say the majority, if not all, have like an agricultural department that does something similar. But as for the Buy Missouri program highlighting both agricultural businesses and other manufacturers, Missouri is where it's at right now.
Okay. Girl, you're a trendsetter. You're a trendsetter.
We're working on it. We're doing what we can.
Well, that, a lot of times people have just got to see something. That's like, I'm basically an advanced intermediate rider, but then I teach the heck out of stuff because a lot of people, it's just, they can't teach something, or they might have an idea, but they don't have like the know-how to do the business part, or they can't do the marketing of it. So like, sometimes they just need somebody to take the reins and get up in there and, be the leader in it. And so here
Absolutely.
Y'all, I hope that other states do what y'all are doing. Y'all are doing something really cool.
That's the goal. And, our Lieutenant Governor Wasinger frequently meets with lieutenant governors from other states. So I'm really hopeful that soon we'll be able to meet with some of them and talk to them about the program and see if it's something that they would want to replicate in their state. We're happy to, of course, promote Missouri-made products in the state and nationally as well as internationally. But really, we're proud of U.S.-made goods. So if every state participated, I would be more than happy to see this become a national trend that just continues to grow.
Well, my thoughts on that, 100%. Yes. I feel like, man, so many people are ordering so many things from like Temu, and they're ordering so many things that I'm like, man, you're taking money out of someone here. And everybody's like, well, but it's so much cheaper to get it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, well, there's consequences for that, there's consequences. And you just got to be, you know what, instead of buying 3 cheap shirts, buy one nicer one, and
absolutely.
And I think people in general are way too into consumerism. They're buying way too, so like calm your jets, get something that's worthwhile, something that every time you wear it, you're just like, Brandy made this, or I got this from Missouri, or oh my gosh, I love this. Like you need to take some pride in what you're doing and who you're supporting, because wherever you put your dollars at, that's who you're supporting, and you might be supporting some stuff that you don't want to support. So
exactly,
a lot of people, go ahead.
I think what a lot of people don't understand is by buying locally from, family-owned businesses, that money then stays locally and is reinvested back into your local economy. And this is something that is imperative. And I think so many people have gotten used to buying things online and things from abroad. And we have so many quality goods that are made here in the great state of Missouri. So why not try to source locally before having to look somewhere else?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Like, I'll tell you, a lot of people, they've just gotten used to the right now. I had a lady that purchased some tallow from me, 8:05 on a Thursday night, okay? And it was Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, she emailed me and was like, where's my stuff? And I was like, girl, we shipped it on Saturday, and Shopify shows in transit. Like, it's getting there. Like, it's not overnight, and like I'm small batches. I am triple rendering that so it doesn't smell like you're rubbing a cow on your face,
Right.
And so
I think
a lot of people don't realize it with being mom and pop. Sometimes it might be another day or so, because we don't have a lot of stuff in inventory because that's not how we roll,
Absolutely, which isn't a bad thing. And that's how it is for a lot of our businesses that, maybe are not able to make the quantity to sell in some of these large stores, but they're making so many of these goods with such attention to detail that we really, as a society, need to kind of get away from this instant gratification mindset as a whole, and maybe practice a little bit of patience and sourcing our goods locally and just relaxing a little bit.
I'm more about quality. Well, my husband,
absolutely,
quality is where it's at for me. So my husband and his woodworking, like he's in the process of building us like a very, very high-end chicken house. As an example, like we're talking bougie McBougie, okay? But people are going to be able to be like, oh, do you want this window, or do you need this many? Do you want this size? What kind of flooring do you want? What color do you want the outside? Do you want to, it's going to be high end. And whenever he goes to make those, he'll probably make one a month. Okay.
Right.
Because he wants to do other things. He doesn't want to just be a bougie chicken house manufacturer. So we're talking about 12 a year of those. So the people that will get those are going to be like, wow, this was made by David. So.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's go through some things. So if you're looking for my husband's wood shop, that's buildingwithdavid.com. Nothing weird to spell, okay? And because our last name is Von Holten, nobody can spell that German last name, okay? My last name was Smith before I got married. Brandy Smith, like Brandy with a Y and Smith, just how Smith is, okay? But our last name, Von Holten, it's 2 words, and it's VON, then a space, then the other word is Holten, Holten, Von Holten. And I will tell that to people and they'll say, Van Holten. And I was like, boy, you just cannot process that Von, can you? Von, V-O-N. I used to, whenever I was a science teacher, I used to tell my students, if you put an A in my last name, I'm not going to put an A on your report card. And then,
oh my goodness.
I was joking, right? And then the fight team that I was on, I would tell them I'd kick their A if they put an A in my last name. So they were just like, we got it, Von Holten, So there's Building with David, and then I'm Brandy Von Holten, and I have, I'm about to start taking people to Mexico. I have found that my all-inclusive, my Smart Chicks, is my homesteading, that's all-inclusive. Chicks in the Sticks is my camping. We have custom cheesecakes that are made locally. They get a shirt. We trail ride. We use a whole bunch of massage therapists come in. We even have an equine massage therapist that comes to some of those, so everybody can just feel better, right? But so Chicks in the Sticks is one of our all-inclusive things. And now, okay, this right here, I'm not saying a dirty word. It's Smart Beaches. And what I'm going to do is take these ladies with me to Mexico and then do some goal setting and business training throughout the day, just like a few hours. And then the rest, I'm on vacation with them. I have found
that's fabulous.
Well, a lot of times women want to do stuff, but they don't know anybody to do it with, so,
right.
And they trust us because they can, we've been open for 12 years now. The Von Holten Ranch has been. So anyway, that's on Brandy Von Holten, and then Country Tough Trail Versatility, ct2v.com. We have that, and then Von Holten Ranch, and then they can find all of those on Facebook or a website. I like a website's way better because you get all the information. We have calendars and stuff on there instead of just hoping to catch something on Facebook. But then they can also find us on YouTube or TikTok, whatever your flavor is, and unfortunately, Instagram. I do not do well on Instagram. I'm like non-existent, like on Instagram, except for Von Holten Ranch. I mean, and it don't even have very many followers. But nobody loves us on Instagram. But YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook, we're popular. Okay.
Perfect.
So Anna, here we go. Let's go through a couple of questions so people can see if you're a weirdo or not, okay?
Okay, I'll do my best.
All right, you ready? So,
yeah.
Are you a dog or a cat person?
Oh, dog, 100%.
What kind of dog?
So, I've got a golden retriever, but normally I'd say I like mutts more.
Okay. I have a very, very needy and attached blue heeler mix. So she's a little bit bad, but I a little bit love her all the time. Okay.
I love it.
So, all right, now then, do you eat pineapple on your pizza?
Absolutely not.
Oh, man. We're going to get off this podcast right now. No, I'm joking. Oh, my husband cannot stand that either, and I just love that. Okay.
See, I lived in Italy for a little bit, so if I said yes, I'd have some people really mad at me.
Oh, I fought in Italy. Yeah, what a weird little world. Girl, hey, so Italy, where did you go in Italy?
So my senior year of high school, I had studied abroad in northern Italy in a small town in the Alps called Esine, spelled E-S-I-N-E. And then I had just kind of, after that, been over there back and forth for a little bit in northern Italy, kind of around Milan area.
Okay. I fought in Sardinia, and I've been to Sicily. Yeah. So,
awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's not a small world, but, it's a big world, but then connections are made all the time. Okay. My favorite, girl, right now, my pizza of choice, that locally, okay, and you're going to be like, oh, you're expecting something nice. We going to go to Casey's gas station. Okay?
Oh, absolutely.
Girl, I love my husband loves their breakfast pizza. He does not like the one with bacon. It's got to be with sausage, and he wants the cheese sauce, not the gravy, because there's a couple of different types. But we go there and get a green bell pepper and tomato pizza with extra cheese. That's my jam at Casey's. Yeah, they make fun of us. You're getting a Christmas pizza. And I'm like, shut up. It's just green bell pepper and tomato. That's my jam. And then if they have something where you can get a one topping, girl, this is going to sound weird, but we sometimes get onion only. It is so good. I mean, I sound like...
That sounds good to me.
Oh, okay. I sound like Shrek, like I'm an ogre because I like an onion. But once you get it, you're like, okay, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it sounds fine to me.
My husband is a big margarita pizza fan. We love that.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Girl, whenever I went to Italy, I was a little bit younger, and I ordered some ravioli. And, I was used to some Chef Boyardee. Okay, I like some Chef Boyardee ravioli. Girl, I ordered ravioli in Italy, and I was like, this is just pasta with spinach on the inside. Where's the sauce and all the other stuff? And, like, I was like, at the time, I was like, I've really got to upgrade my palate, because, like...
Yeah.
But now, the breads, I make homemade breads because I have the MTHFR. I have a couple of those genes, so I'm doing fresh milled flours, but I haven't made my own pasta yet, but I want to, and
you should. I love making pasta at home.
Oh, okay. All right, so, and then vehicle. All right, let me guess your car, okay? I'm going to guess your car. I'm going to go with a 2019 Honda Accord.
Nope.
Okay. All right, hold on. Let me try again. A 2022 Bronco.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Okay. But break it out. What kind of car are you driving?
I have a 2017 Ford Explorer. Nothing too fancy.
Okay. The Ford. Okay. So we don't have anything fancy. We got an F-250 that we've had to work on a whole bunch of times, but we don't want to replace it. So it's a 2015.
Of course not.
Yeah, 2015 F-250. It gets the job done. And then we have what we call the grocery getter. I have a 2017 Nissan, I don't know, Rogue. I got the Nissan Rogue like everybody else in the world. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I always joke this was my first vehicle I have that didn't have crank windows. So.
Oh, dang.
This is my version of a nice car.
Some of my friends were around the other day, and a lot of my friends are over 60, and they've got some nice vehicles, and they were like, oh, I've got a BMW, and the other person has a Lexus, and we were just like, whoa. And I was like, oh, we got a 2013 Massey Ferguson, so they were like, oh, dang. And I was like, yeah, it's got air and all sorts of stuff. So, all right, 27. All right, now then, let me think here. If you weren't doing this, okay, and you had to completely do a different job, what do you think would be like the job that you would like love to do?
That is a really good question. I think if it was a completely different job, and I could do anything I wanted to do. I've always been kind of fond of having a little coffee shop situation. So maybe something like that, a little coffee shop bookstore situation would be fun in a different universe with lots of money.
Okay. I'm wanting to my motivational speaking and stuff because a lot of people that are strong come from pretty rough backgrounds, and I have some really cool. I've got a really cool story going on, and so I want to travel the world and just help people know that they're enough. So that's
Absolutely.
I can see doing that. If I could do anything in the world, I don't know. I mean, I've taught martial arts. I've done that for a while, and there was a lot of...
That'd be cool.
But I feel like I'm where I need to be. I feel like I'm where I need to be because I feel like I'm prolonging the cowboy way of life with our CT2V. And then I feel like I'm... most of my mounted archers are women that whenever they got into... they got into their families and then all of a sudden the kids came on and then they're like, wait, I used to be really cool. I promise you I was cool. And my mounted archery kind of like helps women find themselves. And so I have a lot of people that are like, they just want to do something for them, and just be different and be cool. And then the vacation stuff that I'm doing, man, people don't, whenever we're at a vacation, we schedule the next one because it gives us like, I don't know, kind of like go juice to like really work really hard to be like, here's whenever. And so many people do not vacation and they just work. And I'm like,
I know.
Man, there's more to life than paying bills, baby doll. There's more to life.
Absolutely.
So, all right, what's your favorite, like, my husband has to have big things to relax. Are you a big things or a small things for relaxation? Like, what's something, like, if you're like, oh, I need to reset, what would it take for you to reset?
You know what? If I'm going to be honest, a couple hours without kiddos. I've got 2 little ones and they're 2 and 3. So sometimes, just an hour ride to work with my podcast on is a nice little reset for me. So.
Okay. Yeah, my husband needs Mexico and needs it for like 8 or 9 days. Like he takes a big thing for him. Or sometimes we'll just take like 2 hours and we'll drive to Springfield and go to Buc-ee's gas station. So,
oh yeah, for sure.
That's what we're going to do for Valentine's Day is we're going to go junking because I need a mirror for like this vanity area that I've kind of made for myself out of a bunch of junk that we had basically. But I need a mirror.
Yeah.
So we're going to go. I call it junking. Most people call it thrifting or antiquing or whatever.
Same idea.
I'm not buying nothing new. Work too hard to give up money on something new. And then we're gonna go to Buc-ee's gas station. So
that's awesome. I love it. That sounds great.
What it takes for me to reset is I love my sauna, I love my red light, I love my ice water bath. If I could take like a half a day and just kind of go and work out, do my sauna, take a shower, do my ice water bath, like kind of like a little reset, do some stretching and a little bit of journaling, like then I'm like, all right, now I'm ready to slay the day. So
yeah, absolutely. Anyways, well, good for you.
Yeah, my husband's the expensive one and I'm like a half a day girl. So,
I know, that's probably the same dynamic with my husband and I.
So any sports that you used to do? Or still do?
It's been a long time. I don't do any now. I done track for a little bit, basketball for a little bit, and volleyball for a little bit when I was pretty young.
Okay, so I bet your event was the 800.
Nope, I was like 100 meter, and then I did high jump for a little bit, but it was very brief. But okay. I'm not a cross country person by any means, so the shorter and faster the distance was, the better for me.
Girl, I was a hurdler. I did hurdles, and everybody, with me being like a thickie, everybody would have thought I did shot put. I was horrible at shot put. I actually did long jump. I was a long jumper and a hurdler.
Okay.
Well, I'm built like a real thick refrigerator, and I had these legs from all the kicking and stuff like that. I had a lot of, but I've got, oh my gosh! Whenever I went to Italy, they also had where they had high who could kick the highest, and you had to get aerial, and then they had power kicking. Well, I never could break more than 6 boards at a time, which that's equivalent to kicking someone in the stomach and breaking their spine. But most people that competed in power breaking can break more than 6 boards. So I was kind of like, dang it, you think that? Because I was, I'm just a thicker girl. I'm like just cornbread fed. I have pictures. I have pictures of me. But I'm real good at committing to something. I've got a picture where if you let your legs go up, I've got pictures of me kicking the bottom of a basketball net, but then you have to fall backwards, so you have to be okay with that. And then they would have a mat for you there, but it's not like, oh, that's soft and fluffy. But no, here I am, like right under, like a sliver under 5'7", but I was our height kicker, I competed in that because I would commit. Other people, they wouldn't be okay with throwing those legs up and falling. So anyways, what a weird story, right? I told you you're going to meet a weirdo. So
that's okay. I love it. That's my kind of people. I love it.
All right, guys, if you want to find out more about this program, if you've got stuff that you want to put in there, they got 680 people. or 680 businesses. So that's buymissouri.net. Or if you are a business and you want to have that stuff in there, it sounds like as long as you carry 5 items, then you can be listed on their website also.
Yeah.
Okay, and then people can just go and find out about stuff, right? Just go there and be like, all right, and they just type in a category and then find these different businesses that do this?
Yeah.
Okay.
All they have to do is just go to buymissouri.net, click on the member listings, and then it'll show you all of them. You can search it by topic area or by location in the state. So you can look up Springfield, Missouri if you're around there, and it'll tell you which ones are close to you.
Okay. And so, guys, if you want to be more in control of your world, you need to be in control of where you spend your money. Okay? So you need to support things that are going to do good in the world, and just do a little bit more research over the items that you're using. And, I hope that this right here is something that other states pick up on, and, just do your part. But everybody's a consumer. So, you know what? I'm just so happy shopping, people. Happy shopping. So, all right. Thank you, Anna, and everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Country Tough with Brandy Von Holten.